So if, for example, you delete an account or user's account or a device object in Active Directory users and computers, how do you actually restore that account? Because sometimes you may actually delete an account, or sometimes a user try to actually log on to a device and he's receiving an error message that says that the device does not exist anymore, or kind of an authentication error. So if you are working for a company, most companies actually configure, use PowerShell script or use script to actually disable an account, and if the user does not log in after a year or like 6 months, that account will be deleted. So if, for example, we delete this account, let me just try to delete this account now. For example, I'm going to delete the account of, let me just delete the account of Simon and click yes. So right now in Active, you can't actually restore that account back from using the Active Directory users and computers. So what we need to do is to go to our start menu, and in Windows Administrative Tools, here you can see we have the Active Directory Administrative Center. So just click on that. So you can see here we just started the Active Directory users and computers at the Active Directory Administrative Center. So here, if I click on my domain name, which is the Kelv Global Local, you can see we have the option called Enable Recycle Bin. But there's a problem. Now I just deleted an account. So if I go to my, here you can see we don't have the option called deleted object. So what you want to actually do, but most companies actually do this beforehand, so you want to actually enable this recycle bin before you even start deleting object, because if you delete that object, you need to go through a very, very long process, probably using PowerShell script to actually bring back that object to your domain, to your Active Directory users and computers. So what you want to do is, when you want to enable the recycle bin, and then you see, are you sure you want to perform this action? Once recycle bin has been enabled, it cannot be disabled. So I'm going to say okay. It says refresh the Active Directory Administrative Center now. So I'm going to say okay, and here we can actually just do some refresh. So by doing some refresh, you can see we now have our deleted object here. But mind you, in the deleted object, I'm not seeing, if I let me just try to do some refresh, I'm not seeing the account we just delete. So if I go back again to Active Directory users and computers, and I try to delete the account of Nora, I say yes, and I go back to my administrative center. And here, let me just do a refresh. Here you can see the account of Nora is now available. We can now decide to actually restore that account. And if I go back again to my Active Directory users and computers, and then I try to actually do a refresh, you can see the account is now back. So let me just try to go to my computers here. Here we have our account. There's the say 003. And I try to delete this account. I say yes. If I go back again to my administrative center, that is this. So let me try to do a refresh. Here you can see our object that has been deleted. We can decide to actually restore, or we can actually choose to restore to a different location entirely. So here you can see I have my Kelvglobal. I can decide to say, okay, I want to restore this to a different location. Let me go back again to my Active Directory users and computers. And then here under my Kelvglobal ICT, I want to create a new organization unit, and then I'm going to call this computers. And in this computers, I'm going to create a new organization unit. I'm going to call this notebooks. So what we can actually do is we can actually just try to, let me do it through a refresh again. And now I want to move this object, restore this object to Kelvglobal computers and then notebook, and I'm going to say okay. So if I go back again to my Active Directory users and computers and I do a refresh, you can see our notebook has just been moved, our device has just been moved to the organization unit called notebooks. So this is how you actually restore deleted objects in Active Directory users and computers. And be careful not to actually delete object, because when an object is deleted from your Active Directory users and computers, the user will not be able to actually log on to that device. So next, what we'll be doing is I'm going to be showing you how to actually block users from signing in into a domain server.